I'm going to talk to you about why we only start formal history and geography teaching in Waldorf schools in grade 4 when the children are 9 turning 10. This is because after the children have gone through their 9-year transformation and really begun to take their first steps into their real awareness of self and into their growing self-confidence, once the children have realized that they are separate, they can now look at the world, look at their environment, look at situations around them with greater perspective. And perspective is something that you need for subjects like history and geography as you are looking at something else and you are studying something else. On a soul level, once the children have gone through the 9-year transformation, we now want to help them place themselves in time and in space. So we are saying to the children, yes, it is a scary time for you and a vulnerable time because you're not sure where you fit in, but look at where you are and look at almost when you are. So with teaching them geography, we always start where the children are. So we start at their house, in their homes, and we start at their school because that's where they have, well, that's where they spend most of their time. And from that, we just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we go from the home and from the school, from the community around them, to the city that they live in. Then we go to the country that they live in, and then we go to the region of the world, and we start looking more at the world as they progress through the primary school. The same applies with history. We now want to help place themselves where they are. So we look at their families and their family trees, and we look at the history, or the brief history, or the simple history of their city. And then again, the history expands and gets bigger, and we start looking at time longer ago as the children get older and they are able to do this. At the same time, we are meeting their need and their ability to now start thinking more with more depth, with more clarity, and to be able to deal with more abstract concepts now that they no longer feel that they are just completely embedded in the world. So this is why with history and geography we can now start really analyzing different aspects of life. So in the initial geography lessons we start making simple maps. And even that, just introducing them to the idea of looking at things from a bird's eye view, because maps are drawn from the top down. So that's also something almost mind-blowing for the children that, okay, this is how we can look at things. So again, from a different perspective, looking at things we are familiar with, but in a different way. So in this way, we also make it more real for the children. We also make it more challenging for them. We stretch them a bit more to start thinking more creatively, to start thinking with greater perspective, to start analyzing things, and to understand more, to understand where they are, to understand directions, north, south, east, and west, to help place them where they are. And with history as well, we start looking at what came before them so that they can understand better where they are now. And this is really how, when we introduce these subjects for the first time after their 9th year, when they are turning 10, we meet this need of the children to help place them where they are and to help them understand more about where they are in time and in space.